Good morning. It is freezing out. It is 10 degrees out, and I am headed for church. But so this week is going to be a tough week. My sister's birthday is Saturday, I believe, the 28th, and we all know she passed away. 8 years, it'll be 8 years this year, hard to believe. But I've been thinking about her and her kids, and I was remembering some of the things that happened when, not so much when we were kids, but when her kids were kids. And it's amazing the idea of it, that they're grown adults now and have kids of their own that are adults, and it just seems like forever, I guess. I am 64, going to be 65 this year, so yeah, I get it. But I was thinking about the time when I joined the military, and I had taken my sister with me. She was, now mind you, she was pregnant with her oldest, and she wasn't very far along, but she had just, I think she had just found out she was pregnant. And I told her, I said, I'm thinking about joining the military. Let's walk down to the recruiter's office. And this is when they were all on 7th Street there, right off of Minnesota and all that. And so we had walked because my mom lived on on Rice Street. So we walked down, and I told her, I said, no matter what happens, you do not let me sign anything. Well, before we were back home, I had signed to join the Navy, and I want to say it was in March or April. No, it had to have been April, because I left within 2 weeks of literally signing those papers. I don't even know if it was 2 weeks, but it was funny. So she let me sign. I joined the Navy. We used to tease her because even she was only 4 feet 11, I think, 4'10", something like that. She was a shorty. And when she got pregnant, even though she wasn't that far along, she looked like she was carrying a basketball underneath her shirt. And it was just hilarious. And then after she had her, it was so funny because she called. By the time she had her oldest, I was stationed in California at Coronado Island at the LMET school, and worked for this wonderful captain. And so her daughter was born on my dad's birthday. So they share the same birthday, but my grandfather was gone for years prior to that, because he died in, I don't even remember, 1960 something. I wasn't very old. And yeah, so she called down there, or my mom or somebody called down there to tell me that she had the baby and it was a girl. But they didn't get to me, they got to my captain, which was hilarious. So captain came out and said, Brenda, I have news. And I said, okay. And he was like, you have a niece. And I'm like, oh my God. So he let me go home so I could call and do, whatever it was. And he was just the best captain in the whole world. So that Christmas, my mom decided that they should come down to California to visit me because it would be warmer. Little did they know, yes, California's warm and sunny, but we had our cold days too. not as cold as Minnesota, but they were still cold. But anyway, so she brought the baby. She ended up in the emergency room after a few days because the climate change from the weather. And it was just hilarious. My mom decided that right after Christmas she was going home, so she went home with the baby. And of course, though, while we were there, we had gone to, and she was there, we had taken her to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and some other things, and I don't think we ever made it to SeaWorld. But it was one of those where she got home, my sister stayed until after New Year's. She wanted to stay until after New Year's. So my mom had the baby, well, Kayleen, and she kept calling, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? When are you coming home? So apparently Kayleen was not a happy camper. Anyways, she went to, as she got older, Kayleen came to visit with my mom when I was married to my first husband in Georgia, and she had gone out of town with friends. And then when Kayleen was pregnant with her oldest, Kasia, I did not know this, but I had gotten tickets for her and I think it was 3 of her friends, and we went to Valley Fair. Well, needless to say, I found out afterwards that she was pregnant. She'd been going on all these rides. And she was getting sick, and I didn't know it. And I'm like, why did you not tell me? But then, even when Kayleen was little, we would stay at my mom's house, and she would come and stay. And we would be laying in the bed, and my mom, of course, was in her hospital bed, and she would talk. My mom loved to talk, and she would stop, and I would look at Kayleen, and I would go, 3, 2, 1, and all of a sudden my mom would start talking again, and we would bust up laughing. And so it was just one of those things that growing up, you just remember these small little things that always made you so happy. And then, then you have this, I'll tell the story about my sister later, but then you have tragedy in your family, and it's one of those difficult things that, do you talk about it? Do you not talk about it? But yes, so it was fun. We had, I can't say every single moment we had in our lives was great, but I can remember those times when we had those funny things happen where it was, why did this happen? Why did it happen? But it did. And so, yeah, there's a ton of fun stories, but I will definitely tell you the tragic story of my sister later. Have a good day, everyone.